Hi guys! This is Kuya JL. I'm the great grandson of Lucia Piscioli. Just kidding! I'm here right now in Parañaque National High School, Maine, teaching what is T account. Accounting cycles comes in many forms. Journalizing, general ledger, trial balance, income statement, and balance sheet. But there's a certain form that could help us to make the double entry bookkeeping easier to manage, the T account. T account is an informal term for financial reports that can use double entry bookkeeping method. When we say double entry bookkeeping method, the recording transaction is recorded in at least two accounts, as a debit or credit. Take note that the debit side is on the left and the credit side is on the right. T account appearance is similar to the letter T. It's like a ledger account that makes the transaction in an easier form to look at. T account is commonly used to prepare adjusting entries. T account guides accountants on what to enter in the ledger to get adjusting entries. T account in debit and credit. As I said earlier, T account is double entry bookkeeping method, debit and credit. Debit is made of the left side of an account since it is increasing asset and expense. Basically, the theory about positioning of the entry is that we can picture out what entries are entering in the transaction. On the other hand, a credit is an entry made of the right side since it increases the liability, equity, and revenue.
The concept of this positioning is to know what account should be excluded in the transaction.
Santos purchased $50,000 for his automobile. Debit side is automobile, credit side is cash. Increase in asset. Since the automobile is an asset and decreases in cash since he purchased automobile using the money. Again, let's have a short recap. Debit side is increasing in asset and expense, while the credit side is increasing in liability, equity, and revenue. Debit means the entries are entering the account. And credit means the entries are excluding to the account. T account form. Make a title. Take this as an example. From the heading, write to the company name, JL Express Inc. Below is the name of transaction you're going to use, T account. And lastly, the date range of the transaction for the month of December 2022. If you're going to make a T account, first, you should write the title above the T account so that you can be able to locate what entry you're going to record. In recording, write the date of the transaction in the left side if it's on the debit before the money value of transaction, and right side after the money of transaction.
Before jumping to the examples, let's have short quiz to reminisce what we have learned. Identify the answer to the question given. 1. It is increasing in asset and expense.
2. It is an informal term for financial outboards that uses double entry bookkeeping method.
3. The format given in the video said, the heading of T accounts comes up with elements called 4. T account is commonly compared with the alphabet letter. Five. How many entry does a bookkeeping midget have for T account? Now that we have fulfilled the identification of the T account definitions and terms, let's move on to the examples of transactions for accounts.
Hi, I'm Namo. You learned about the terms of T account. However, it's not enough for you to know how it is used in problem generally. I have various of example here. Let's proceed to this number 1 question first. Cookies Express invested 60,000 as capital to the business. Let's plot first what entry should be used in this transaction. In debit side, we have cash, since it will enter to the company's business. Cash, 60,000 debit. In credit side, we have capital, since it will enter to the business equity. Capital, 60,000 credit. Let's assume that this is for December 1 of 2022. Now, let's proceed to the T account. Let's start with the cash first, since it is the debit. Let's write the heading first. Now, let's proceed to the T account. Let's put the name of the entry above the T account form. Cash. Date, December 1. Monetary value, 60,000. Be aware to put it in the debit side. For credit, same format. Put the entry above the T account form. But write the monetary value and the date on the right, since it is credit. Capital, 60,000. Date, December 1. That's it. That's how you plot a T account. For the next example, Jafila Incorporated purchased office supplies on account worth 7,000. Let's plot the entries first. Office supplies, debit, because they purchased office supplies to the company. On the credit side, the transaction says they purchased office supplies on account. So the entry here must be account payable. It means the office supplies is not paid, but to be paid soon. Same format from the first transaction, office supplies, debit. Let's assume that this is December 2, 2022. On the credit side, account payable, 7,000. Again, to remind you, debit side is on the left and the credit side is on the right. So it must be balanced once you will compute the overall total of the transaction. Adding to that, each transaction is separated because they have different entries and different definition in the transaction. Last one, and it's your turn to answer. Labatiba Express paid 5,000 telephone bill for the month of December. Let's just assume that it is for December 3 of 2022. Now, let's plot the entries. Telephone expense, 5,000. According to the debit side, the debit side is increasing in asset and expense. For the credit side, it's cash, 5,000. Because you paid the telephone expense using cash, so your cash must be decreased. Let's plot it into a T account. Debit side, telephone expense, 5,000 for December 3. On credit side, cash, 5,000 for December 3. Again, be aware for the normal balances of the entries. You can watch videos from this channel and I think it's available now. That's it for examples. Now, it's your turn to answer the transactions and I will guide you to answer that.
I hope you have learned from transactions. Now, let's answer the given problems as easy as possible. For your home assessment, answer the following. Plot the entries and T account of following transactions.
It makes sense you could have got the dollar out of me. The debit is the left, the credit is the right. It shapes like letter T. Look how I made it do.
I can make transactions easy. Informal term cycle is ready. Don't bring the pain like accounts random T, accounts random T, accounts random. Get 'em, get 'em, get 'em. Straight to your yellow bed. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Straight to your yellow bed. T, accounts random T, accounts random T, accounts random. Get 'em, get 'em, get 'em. Straight to your yellow bed. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Straight to your yellow bed. Best picking aim a card, pretty like Luke. Rest in peace, please light up your candle. This the life of the count that mass up. T accounts on the way, then other crimes, or it wouldn't be me. Cut your shining rod in signs, I do modern and riding. Fire targets side by side with the ball. Pin up in the sky, the move all in style and only like there's no checks. Cause we get easy and easy like this is low decks.
The debit is the left, the credit is the right. It shapes like letter T. Look how I made it do.
T, I can make transactions easy. Informal term cycle is ready. Don't bring the pain like accounts random T, accounts random T, accounts random. Get 'em, get 'em, get 'em. Straight to your yellow bed. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Straight to your yellow bed. T, accounts random T, accounts random T, accounts random. Get 'em, get 'em, get 'em. Straight to your yellow bed. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Straight to your yellow bed. Now you're done, don't provoke us. T accounts will help you to know that. Got some boundaries, thoughts and the total. T accounts are the one who control that. Gonna give me the results and see all the faults to make sure you can rock and roll. Gonna give me the results and see all the faults. So stop, drop, don't bring the pain like
Bra-ta-ta-ta, 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 bra-ta-ta-ta.